Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today, I am super excited to be sharing space in this On It Instagram live series with Erica Grace. She is a very amazing human, and I cannot wait for you guys to see her magic. We are gonna be talking about On Your Optimism. She is the author of the book Great Like You, and she's here. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself. I am super excited to be here with you today. So for those of you that don't know you should probably know her. She's very close to me, and there's a lot of love between us. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, and then we can go from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I am just so honored to be with you today and be with you on this special countdown to your book release. And yes, thank you so much. My name is Erica Grace. I am a friend of Telma's, and I'm the author of Great Like You, a intro to mindset interactive book for young readers ages 10 and up who are either in the hospital or overcoming an obstacle in life. And the reason that I released this book and felt called to put it out in the world is growing up, ever since around the time of my first birthday, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And it's something I still have today. And I strongly believe that I still live an epic life despite the setbacks and challenges that have come my way, and specifically health challenges in my life. And so I want to show others that you can still be your best self each and every day in the world. So I am just super honored that Telma asked me to be part of this. I truly believe in living an optimistic life. Optimism of all aspects of your life, your mental health, your physical health, your whole well-being, and your relationships with others. So thank you so much for having me today.
I am so excited about this conversation. I do have to acknowledge the fact that my puppy is going nuts. I don't know what's going on outside of this door, but something big. So sorry about that. But
It's
I am super. She is very protective, and the girls are not home, so she's probably freaking out. But to get back into this life, and the fact that you have written a fabulous book. Let me tell you what I love about this book, though. Great Like You is also a very interactive book. So yes, you did say that it's for ages 10 and up, but I read it and I had a lot of fun with it, and I did the journal prompts, and these journal prompts are actually inviting you to draw. So not it's, I mean, the page is blank, but it's also encouraging you to draw, which is something that I had never tried before, and I had such a good time. It was like digging into my creativity to use the tools that you are providing to. I was like, okay, this is awesome. So sometimes when we are going through an obstacle like the one that you have described, and you very detailed go into the book, you tend to sometimes feel like life is hard, and yet in your book you give very specific little gems of hope and tools in which you can use resources, and you can concentrate on a different perspective of the situation and find joy. And I feel like I'm still underestimating the power of this, because then I see you every time that we interact, and you are joy. You represent, you sound, you everything. Everybody that meets you, I'm not the only one, and we can gather votes. Once after this call, after this live, we can gather votes, and you'll see that your magic is in who you are and the choices you're making every single day.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I definitely feel the same about you as well. And you met me at a very, very tough time in my life and with my health, and the fact that you hung in there and were just such a huge support and such an amazing friend. I just will forever remember that, and I'm always grateful for that. So thank you so much for saying that. And you just, I love to see you wake up early in the morning, you get your hike or your workout in, and you just pour into everyone with so much love, and we all appreciate it. It certainly shines on us.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. I definitely sneak out of my house first thing in the morning when I can, while the kids are sleeping, to have me time and fill my own cup. And if something can really fill my cup, is nature and a sunrise. So yes, I am, like, if you actually try to get a hold of me after 7 p.m. and after, I mean, I'm not necessarily responsive or available because my brain is long gone. I feel like the only best thing that I can do is read a story to my kids, and that's because the books are so simple. But other than that, I mean, I'm completely disconnected because I am definitely a morning person. I am a huge fan of my morning routine, of my time, and regardless of the fact that I am a mom and a wife and an entrepreneur, in the mornings I get to just be me, and that allows me to, yes, be there for others throughout the day. There's a lot of hours in the day, but I get to do it better when I fresh up for myself.
Oh, could not agree with you more. And I mean, I came up with a few years ago the Great Like You motto. I call it Center, Serve, Celebrate. And you embody that so well to a T, because it's true. We start each day, and it's the optimistic way to live. So it's really perfect for this center, serve, celebrate. Start each day filling your cup first, doing those things that you love. In Telma's case, the hike or the workout, and just really fueling into herself so that she can then better show up for her family. And then the second step, serve, being there for family, doing our work, leading with an open heart. And then number three, celebrate, center, serve, celebrate, ending each day really congratulating ourselves for what we did. And we're always going to have those tough days and those moments that get to us, but ending your day in a celebration mode really highlights what went well. And so that we can focus on that and kind of end our night in a peaceful and positive and uplifting way. And I see you do that. I saw last night you were celebrating with yesterday 15 days until the book. I love that. I'm like, this is
I,
a girl after my own heart, because so many people forget that step, and I love that you do it.
I'm actually that's another thing that I absolutely love about your book, that it concentrates so much of, like, but have you noticed the good? But have you celebrated? But what can you celebrate today? Like, that's a question that you ask and invite others to answer every day. What can you celebrate today? And actually, if you start looking at the things that you did, there's a lot that we accomplish in hours that we spent awake, right? And if you're intentional about it, you have lots to celebrate. But yes, you know this about me, that I am a huge proponent for celebration. I think it keeps the momentum. I think it keeps you going in the right direction. It keeps your light in the right, you're concentrating on the right light versus like what's going wrong, what you haven't done, the to-do list that is still very much there, that is not going to go anywhere. And celebrating doesn't take away from it, and it doesn't make you any less responsible, but it allows you to show up, to show yourself how much you have done, how capable you are, and the fact that you are going to keep going to then celebrate the rest of your, all the things that are still waiting for you. And there's always things that sometimes go wrong, and I have found so much peace in learning how to laugh about it. Sometimes it takes me a minute or two to laugh about it because I definitely have to like throw a little tantrum first, but then but then I'm like, all right, there's a lesson here. I'm not ready to laugh about it, but there's something there. I'm gonna just think on it. I'm gonna just slow down, maybe shut everything off, and go back to what is it that we completed, what is it that you accomplished. And I don't think that people talk enough about the magic that is in celebration. It sets you in an energy of gratitude, and that energy is so driving, is so powerful, and is so feel. And here's the thing, it's very magnetic. People can feel it. People can acknowledge. Like, there's no way of hiding it, right?
Right.
That's what gravitated me to you. That the fact that every time I see you, I feel that love and that joy, and that the fact that the gratitude that you're always pointing the awesome things. You're always saying something exciting. You're always looking forward to, like, there's very little complaint. Even on your rough days, you acknowledge them, but you're like, but I'm looking forward to this. You always kind of turn the page. And like, so I love the fact that you have the 3 steps that allow you to do that, because these are free and available to everybody.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and it was a great point you made about feeling it too, when you have those moments, kind of expressing it and feeling it. That is so important, because we never want people to believe in like the toxic positivity. It is so important that we step back, take a breath, which I know you're a huge proponent of, and really reflect, maybe root cause, and then go down that positive path, that gratitude path. It just helps us see so much more clearly, and it helps us express and move through those emotions in a healthy way, so that they won't build up, and so that we can find our way through them and out of them. And yes, gratitude, I really call it my anchor personally, because there have been times for me where hope has been shaken, faith has been shaken, but gratitude's always that thing you can come back to. No matter how small, there's always something in your life that you can be grateful for. There's always something you can choose from that day. And it's just a beautiful way to really put a bow on the end of your day, when you think of what you have to really appreciate, because there's more than you realize, and it can help either shed clarity on a situation that you may have to make steps towards getting out of, or it can shed light on how great things are. I always love the example at work or something, getting frustrated. Oh, I hate this job. Well, once you stop and think about it, if it really is that bad, then you can root cause the action steps to get out. Or maybe you stop and think, where my mind often goes, I am so grateful for this job because it affords me the amazing life that I'm living, and the freedom of my time on the weekends to do whatever I please. So it's a great reframe too that we find within gratitude.
I love the fact that you touch on reframe, so I definitely want to go back to that. But you touch on something that I definitely think is important. We touch on this topic, because on your optimism is not toxic positivity, and you kind of said it and already explained it in your own way. But I want to make sure that it's very extremely clear to the whole world that we are saying there is bad days, and you should acknowledge them. But there's always also a solution, and that's where the optimism starts shining. Toxic positivity to me is ignoring the issue, acting as if it's not there, not acknowledging, not dealing with it, and just like forcing yourself through a smile that you're not really feeling. Versus acknowledging, like, this feels hard. Today is exhausting, and yet I accomplished so much. So see how I'm still acknowledging the fact that I'm exhausted, that I'm tired, that it's been a full day of hours. But I'm so grateful that I had the ability to get so much done today that I can sleep so good at night knowing the productivity that was there. It's a reframe, but not disregarding the fact that I'm exhausted, right? That's just a super like slight example, but I want to make sure that there's a lot of there's a little bit of confusion between the two of them, and I'm not a fan of toxic positivity because I am very much a fan of like acknowledge, allow the feeling, feel it, and then put the light on the grateful feeling that you can find or a solution. And sometimes even if those takes a few days of you to get down and reflect on the root cause, you are allowing it. So therefore you're actually processing it. Right?
I totally believe in that as well. Yeah, it's so important to just take that extra time so that things don't build up within you. I definitely agree wholeheartedly.
Yes. Well, okay. And then the reframing. The reframing is the other part that I wanted to go back to. There's always one. If we slow it down enough to say, all right, how can I describe the day that I'm having without saying I hate my job? If you were to take the word hate out of your vocabulary, how would you say it? Right?
Exactly. It can, then you touch the feelings. So instead, it could be, I'm actually frustrated with this client at the moment, or I'm actually losing my patience because this situation at work has taken so long. It can, when you remove that word too, it can help you rethink through exactly what's causing that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you shared the tools for the optimism. So if anybody that is watching, you want to repeat them one more time to make sure that everybody knows they're fully available to you. They're free, they are easy, and you can practice them until there is a muscle that comes natural to you. Because everything is practice, right?
Definitely, definitely. So yes, every day, center, serve, celebrate. Center, serve, celebrate. The Great Like You daily motto.
I love it. And I'm a huge fan of the book. I don't have it in hand with me, but I'll share a picture later. And I now have been through the journey of what is to write a book, and I reread your book after writing mine, and it gives you a whole new perspective of how vulnerable you are being by sharing your tools from a perspective of you have been there, you have done it, you have tried it, you have practiced these tools that you're presenting every day, probably since before this book, right?
For sure.
So I definitely have like a whole different level of respect because I think it does represent. It's very brave to put what's hard for you out there.
Yes, yes. And I know that you know that to your core, because what you're putting out into the world is so needed and so beautiful. And I cannot wait for everyone to get their hands on it. But yeah, when I was going through, when I turned it into the editor, the whole first part that is my story, it wasn't there. So it was more for the reader, about the reader, and leading them through their journey. And then the person editing it pushed back to me and said, well, you have to tell where this all came from. You have to tell your story. So that first part didn't exist, because I think that a lot of times we make the mistake of thinking like, oh, I want to help so many people, but I don't want to have the focus on me. I don't want to tell my part. And it is so important to tell your part. That's how you got to those lessons and experiences. So I thank you for leading the way and stepping out and showing how important it is to be open and honest and show yourself, because only then can we really understand those lessons that come from it.
Yeah, I agree, and I am with you though. My editor also pushed back as of like, where is this lesson coming from? Can you tell me more? And I'm like, I think I said enough. No, you didn't. So if you haven't written a book, but this is something you're talking about, I have to tell you though, it's kind of like looking at yourself in the mirror completely naked and then digging in and saying, all right, I have to be completely observant of what's there. So it is a beautiful opportunity to look at your story and own it in a very different perspective. This book that I wrote, it is very much my story, but it does share tools that I hope that everybody gets an impact from. But it comes from a place that allowed me so much personal healing. So I started writing this book because I wanted my girls to know my story. So I knew that I needed to share my story. I didn't want anybody else to tell my kids who I was if something was to happen to me, right? So my story being there was very important, but not only that, I also wanted them to consider certain things, to think about the fact that their picture always you can always zoom out of a picture to see a perspective that you might not be reviewing when you're in your feelings, when you are in the moment. And so editors can definitely make a very good point of saying like, you're not zooming out enough, or right?
Exactly. And the mission behind your book is incomparable. It's just so touching. And the way that the audience will find out very, very soon, the way that you communicate and the way that you write, it's just so delicious. It's just so digestible. I just love it, because there are plenty of books out there that for me personally, I just, pick up, then put down. The writing style has to be there. And you just feel reading your book, you just feel like your best friend, and like we're having an intimate conversation. And I cannot wait for the audience to experience that. This is such a special gift that you're giving your girls and that you're giving the world. So I'm so proud of you and so honored to be talking to you tonight. And I know that you'll celebrate that, because you're my kind of girl. But
Oh, absolutely. Definitely believe in celebrating. And thank you so much for saying that. I never thought of myself as a writer. Actually, I touch on the fact that I have a lot of labels, but writing was definitely never one. Barely English speaking. Like I'm still kind of like, is it mine? Do I own it? Do I not? Like I toy with it. I dance with it, but I don't. It took me a while to own it. But in this book, if you read it, it's kind of like having a conversation with me. I write as I speak. So you sometimes get to hear me in your head saying certain things because I'm there. And like as you read my book, you might feel my presence, especially if you know me. You're gonna see like, okay, yeah, these are definitely her words. So yes, that's definitely a good disclosure to have, because I totally agree with the tone of some certain books. I know that Atomic Habits is a fabulous book that I love, but it is very instructional. Like, it doesn't have a lot of storytelling, and I can go back to it as a guide. Like, okay, where do I want to go back to? I try to, in this one, incorporate both, like my story and hopefully a guide that serves you to reflect on your own story.
100%. It definitely does. It certainly hits home. And even though we have some different experiences, we have some similar experiences, the lessons in it all are just so heartfelt and so honest that you just really feel it. No matter who's reading it, we can certainly connect with you.
Oh, thank you. We should probably admit the fact that you were one of my beta readers, and one of the very first people that got to know, okay, the chance is out if you want to be one of the first ones to read it. And thank you so much for jumping at the opportunity, and for being so open to giving me the feedback and what you like with all the things. I so appreciate you being always such a support and a light, because as you know, writing a book can be a very intimidating process.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell everybody that Erica checked on me on the good days and the bad days, on the days that I was like, I'm not a writer, I don't know what I was thinking, I don't know what I was doing, I think we should just drop the project. And she just definitely kept me going, saying like, you're gonna get past this. And so the beauty of the community that I do touch on the book, but this is the definition of it. You are the perfect example and embodiment of what is to have somebody at the other end checking on you when you need it the most, and you didn't even know. Sometimes you don't always know that you're completely in like having a crisis mentally until you read that message. You're like, okay, well, somebody can read my mind.
Yes, completely. Yeah, and I was there too during my process. And what really helped me through, Lindsay Schwartz, who I know you know and love as well, has the amazing advice of, instead of thinking about who you can impress, because that way you get really in your head, think of who you can impact. And that really removes you from the scenario, and you're thinking more of the audience. I know, like, as I was going through it, anytime I get frustrated, I would picture the faces of the readers and the impact that it could make, and that I hoped it could, and the people that I hoped that it could reach. And then it takes you out of the equation and puts the focus on that audience, and it's just like, oh, I'm totally gonna do this for them, they need this. And it makes it just that much more exciting to work on and get put out there.
Absolutely. Having a strong why is definitely a must. And also a community behind you. Lindsay Schwartz is also the person that I quote in my book and says you don't have to do life or business alone, because there's really no need. We are humans that need that support, and we just sometimes forget that we can ask for it. So the power behind finding your community, knowing that there's always somebody looking out for you, or that is always somebody in your corner, can be such an anchor, right?
Yes.
So, like gratitude, but have amazing to have the gratitude to have a beautiful community that you can rely on. So super grateful for Lindsay and all the guidance that she has provided, and the community that she has created, something that I think you and I have benefited and felt so supported by.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really keeps us on track and going down that road and finding like-minded people. Like, it's how we found each other too, through these different communities. So viewers on this live too, we encourage you, find the community that speaks to you, because I know that sometimes when we're up leveling, when we're trying to improve our mindset, improve our optimism, our current situation might not be the best place to harvest that. Sometimes we have to look outside of our current friend group, our current coworkers, maybe even some of our family members. You have to find what speaks to you and find that community so that you can really be there for each other, cheer each other on, lift each other up, and have someone that you can relate to on the days that it gets tough, to just know you're on that right path.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming in here, giving everybody the tools that they need to own their very own optimism in the motto of Great Like You, a book that I highly recommend. It's a super easy read and something that you won't forget. Plus, it has the ability to have your journal and draw and get into your creativity. It's actually really fun. And it's something that you can go back to over time and time again. And Erica, you are honestly a light in my life. I so appreciate you. This means the world to me, you coming in and actually always being in my corner. I'm glad that you've been through a process, because I think it allowed you to support me that much more. But I definitely want to say thank you for everything that you have done. And I'm glad that you enjoy On Your Dance, the book that we are celebrating already the countdown for. Why not? 15 days, not 14. Who's counting? I am totally counting.
The countdown is on. I cannot wait to have it physically in my hands, and for everyone else to highly recommend.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you so much. I am so excited to put this out in the world. I hope that everybody finds reflection and an invitation for a new perspective, and with that, an invitation to on your dance, on your optimism, on whatever it is that you're craving, so you can feel full in your heart and therefore grateful. This book is gonna be available to everybody in 14 days, which is it comes out to be, if I'm doing the math right, September 27th, and Erica and I are going to be celebrating. So I hope that you join us in celebrating as well, because we believe celebration is crucial to having a joyful life, one that we all deserve.
Yes, own your dance.
I know, I'm so excited. And of course, I'm going to be dancing left and right. I'm not the greatest dancer, full disclosure, but that has never stopped me, and it never will.
That's same here. Good. We can relate on that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody that joined the live. I hope that you enjoyed this beautiful human that I absolutely love. And I will be seeing you so soon. Erica, thank you. Lots of love. Have a great night. And see you so soon.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, everybody.